all manner of... Oh my goodness, my ship is sinking from the... My ship sank. Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome to Sea of Thieves, brought to us by Rare. This game is really great. It's gotten my interest a lot, and you can basically just get to be a pirate in this fantasy world that is technical and dangerous, but so much fun. So we're going to sail alone for this first part, because I'm just going to be basically going over the gist of the game, what it entails, what you do, how it looks, and then we'll show a little bit of the multiplayer aspect of the game. Okay, and here we are. They start you in a random tavern on a pirate island, and it's wonderful. The game just looks great. Rare did a really good job with that. There's all sorts of little neat things to mess with. There's interesting people, little secrets, and all manner of things. Okay, and we could talk to the bartender. In fact, we're going to go ahead and refill our tankard. I always like to have a full tankard. Let's see. Oh, we have a storm. Okay, well, in this world, it's very easy to feel safe, even here in town, but really, you're never safe. It's the Wild West of pirates. Can't tell. It seems like the storm is rolling in. So if we're going to set sail, we might have to do it soon. This could be a little sporty trying to take off in the storm, but I think we'll manage. So speaking to the various companies that you can work for, you have the hoarders, the gold hoarders, who give you voyages, which are basically missions, to go dig up buried treasure, maps and riddles and all sorts of piratey stuff. So if you come over here, you'll see that this is another company where you can talk to the Order of Souls, and they offer you combat quests to defeat the undead and bring back relics that they've been defeated. Oh, that storm is coming in. We're going to have to move a little quicker than I thought with a sense of urgency. That's going to make this tutorial a little interesting. I don't see any masts on the horizon, so I don't think anybody's coming here to dock, and they haven't seen me yet, because our ship is lit up like a Christmas tree. And it's nighttime. The merchant company offers you deals to go procure livestock and goods, pigs, chickens, sugar, tea, and deliver it to specific places at specific times. Now there's also all manner of... Oh my goodness, my ship is sinking from the... My ship sank. So, okay, as anticlimactic as that was, once your ship sinks, a mermaid comes to take you to your new ship. But before we do that, we want to fill up our inventory, because there is no penalty to dying. You do not lose your inventory, so we're going to stock up on 3 things that are important to get before you leave. Bananas, cannonballs, and wooden planks. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the storm is what sank our ship, and we're actually on the end that's post-storm. No, it seems like it's getting closer. I prefer to use, as my weapon, the blunderbuss. Hold on, I'll find it. There it is. Prefer to use the blunderbuss. Now, one of the neat things that's interesting about this game is that there isn't really a form of leveling up. You don't get stronger the more you play, and the gear that you buy doesn't make you any better. It just shows off the things that you've done. Right? So if you want stuff that looks like the Admiral set, then you would do jobs for the merchants or the scary pirates, you know, you would be like the Order of Souls. Yeah, the storm is here. We need to get out of here. It would have been interesting taking off in the storm. I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to let this mermaid return us to our ship. But above and beyond... Oh, and they've just kind of beached us on some random island. Okay, well this is probably better here. Let's go turn the lights off our ship. We're not far from the storm. When you die, they just push you one island away from where you were. So since we died at an outpost, they weren't going to push us back to an outpost where the NPCs are. Okay, well first things first, whenever you get on your ship, you want to make sure that there's nobody around. If you can see masts in any direction, you need to be aware of that. The best way to make sure, especially when you're on a sloop, that nobody's going to see you is to turn off your lanterns. I'm sure we're going to run into people while we're out sailing, and you will see when they don't have their lanterns on, or when they have their lanterns on, they stick out terribly bad, and you can see them from incredibly far away, even through the mist. Now, we're going to leave our lantern on our deck down below. This is where all of our supplies are. Wooden planks, we're going to go ahead and store these items, but we are going to load the cannons before we leave. Now, playing single player, especially on a sloop, you do not want to be aggressive unless you're very, very comfortable with your positioning and you're very, very smart about what your plan of attack is going to be. That being said, they're great for harassment and deterrence. Once you take all your stuff and you store them inside, you want to always give a lookout to make sure you're safe. When you play with a crew, you should have a member dedicated to that in the crow's nest most of the time. Now, we're going to go ahead and pull the anchor up. Anchors pull up faster the more people you have on them, but the sloop is made to be pulled up relatively quickly, even by yourself. With 2 people, it comes up very fast. Okay, and now we're sort of adrift. So you can see we have the wind off our starboard side. The sail is up. We're not really going anywhere, but we don't really have a voyage set out. Well, one of the things that you do in this game is you have to orient your sails to the wind if you want to travel. So for this, you would lower the sail here, which is your speed, and this is your angle. Before we do that, I want to demonstrate something. So without that up, we're kind of just at the mercy of the current. We're drifting, but we can still use the rudder to steer. So if we cut the rudder hard over, then the current will drive us that way, and if we cut the rudder this way, then the current drives us back. Now, keep in mind, of course, the galleon is going to be a lot less maneuverable than the sloop, but the same basic premise holds true for both. So when you want a little bit of speed, but you want to remain maneuverable, you simply lower your sail down a little bit and tack into the wind, and there you have it. Now we have forward motion. So now we're going to get on the wheel, and we're just going to get out of this little lagoon here. Get a little more wind. I think that storm is actually going to go past us, but I don't want to be near the storm. Storms are actually very dangerous. They very quickly get you disoriented and going in circles if you don't have a lookout. The waves can get so high on either side of the ship that from the helm you can't see which direction you need to go, and it pulls the rudder and spins your compass, actually. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to actually catch the wind abeam on the port side. Alright, and we're going to lower the sail the rest of the way so we can get some movement going. Now, when your sail is up fully, your turn radius is much slower. So in the event that you need to turn quickly, like a U-turn, if you pull your sail up, you can turn around immediately with a little bit of momentum. Now, you can drop your anchor and cut the wheel over, and you will also do a U-turn, but keep in mind you'll have to pull the anchor up, so be sure that you're ready for that, or if you have a crew, that multiple people are ready for that if you need to turn around quickly. Once we get on the other side of this island now, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put the ship out to sail. Wait a second. Now, hold on, see, because I'm just trying to get underway because I don't want to sit parked in a lagoon. But I don't see anything out that way. That could be uncharted sea. So let's see where we're pointed here. We are pointed at uncharted sea. You don't want to go out there. If you go out there, your ship will continually take damage. Let's find another outpost. I think we'll go to Golden Sands Outpost, or we'll at least get set up on that way. So we need to head south. Okay, very good. Normally, when you have a second crew member on your sloop, you have somebody that can do this with you. Doing these jobs 2 people at a time actually makes the sloop pretty formidable. 2 people on a sloop can actually do fairly well. With one, I find that 1 person on a sloop is actually pretty challenging, just as 3 people on a galleon is pretty challenging. There we go, we've caught the wind abeam. So once your sail catches the wind at its specific angle, which we need to cut back over to the south. Oh, we were left of center. That's not good. Okay, let's cut hard over, because now we're getting close to the storm. 3 people on a galleon can be equally challenging because everyone needs to know what they're doing. Everyone needs to know what they're doing and how to help other people out and fill multiple roles. So to catch the wind, we are going to have to go close to the storm. So be it. We'll catch the wind. The sandy shallows. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, over there. Okay. I was going to say, you can run aground and hit rocks and sandbars and all manner of things like that. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll go to the captain's table here and propose a voyage. I think we're just going to fight with some of the undead, and then your crew will vote on it, and it becomes your active voyage. Once your voyage is active, you simply select one location. We're not going to do them all. Last seen on Lone Cove. Okay, well, let's get below deck and figure out where Lone Cove is. Lonely Isle. We're no longer going to Golden Sands. So you have to be fast, and it pays to know where things are when you're by yourself, because right now I'm not watching where the ship is going or what's around me, so I'm kind of... There it is. Due east. Kind of in a dangerous position right now. Let's get a lookout. So I need to head east. That way. We're just dancing with this storm is what we're doing. Okay. I want to make a sharp left turn, so I'm going to pull up the sail. I haven't seen any other ships yet. There's not a lot of ship traffic on each server. It's generally pretty small numbers, near as I can tell. But when you die, you really only get pushed 1 island away. So single battles quickly become vendettas, and it's not uncommon to engage with somebody just to turn around and engage with them again once you run into each other. Now that being said, I have fought at least, or I have seen at least 3 ships at a time. I've fought 2 at a time. When we were in a galleon, took down a galleon and a sloop. Sandbar. But it was very challenging. Also, something to keep in mind is that your eyeglass reflects light. Like a giant signal flare, it will alert. It will alert the people you look at if they're looking in your direction. We're a little out of the wind. So we need to change our rigging. The wind is sort of spiraling around the storm. Okay. Pretty moderate seas, I would say, all things considered. We need to stay a little more starboard. The seas generally get pretty rough next to storms, and I'm a little surprised they're not more so, truth be told. Okay, I think at this point, though, the seas are getting high enough. I need to... Okay, go on the crow's nest. We're going to go ahead and do that for a moment. So I have a pretty good idea where I'm going at this point. But I want to make sure there's nobody on the horizon. Alright, so there's the Lone Cove there, if I'm not mistaken. Now, keep in mind, there's all sorts of things that aren't marked on the map. That rock formation that looks like a shark tooth is not marked on the map. gone by it a handful of times. Okay, so here's the lone cove. So at this point, all we need to do is adjust our course. I do not see any ships on the horizon. I think we're in very good shape. So there's really nothing to do but cut our course slightly to the right, the starboard side. Steady up, and then maybe because we're so comfortable with our current position, play a little tune. Oops. Yep, Lone Cove. I guess we got here a little faster than I expected. Ooh, it looks like there's a dock up there. Let's do that. Okay, so I want less speed, more maneuverability. We're going to go to a quarter sail, or about when it starts to fold up on itself, when the bottom almost touches the top. About like that. Ooh, that thunder. Alright, and now we're going to cut hard over and pull up the sail, and hopefully, nope, okay, so we impacted the dock. Let's go ahead and drop our anchor. Sometimes it doesn't turn out as graceful as you would like. Now, when you have impacts, either from cannonballs or from terrain or structures, you will get leaks in your hull, and you'll have to come down here and repair them. You'll also have to empty the water out of your bilge, scooping it in a bucket and tossing it overboard. It doesn't do you any good to toss it back down on the ship. It will fill your bilge back up. Okay, not the most graceful way to pull in, but ooh, salvage. But nonetheless, we made it and we're here. Now the sloop can get pushed around by the tides, but what I like to do is once my sail is up and I'm stopped, I like to pull the anchor up, even though I'm not ready to leave yet. Especially single player in the sloop. If somebody's going to come around this island and see me, even though I'm... Ooh. Yeah, no, we're turning because the wheel was over. That's fine. We'll straighten up. If somebody comes around to this island and sees me all of a sudden, I want to be able to leave at a moment's notice. That's a fortress. There's a ship lit up. You can see the lights even during the day. What does that sound? I'm taking on water. I am. Okay, I'm glad that happened so we can talk about that. On a sloop, if you take damage on this half deck, it will only spray with water part of the time. So you might think you're fully repaired when you're not. So we actually took a little more damage than I had originally thought. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time looking at this sloop. Ooh. There's a shipwreck. The storm's coming this way. You know what? Change of plans. A big part of this game is being flexible and adapting to your situation. So we're going to go ahead and depart from this island. Even though we have a voyage there, the voyage isn't necessary, and it doesn't really have a timer where it will expire. So we can go ahead and bid it adieu for now. And the island is right there within visibility of the shipwreck, so there should be no problem checking this shipwreck out first. I'm just going to stay away from that storm. I think it's going to swallow that poor sloop up whole. Storms dissipate and pick up and vary in intensity. They can form on top of you and be so catastrophic with its waves that they rip apart a galleon, or they can be just mildly annoying with water that you have to bucket out, and all of the above. They can also move quickly or slowly. It seems like they have quite a bit of variety how the storms form. Okay, we're a little leeward into the wind, so we're going to cut back to the left a little bit. Get the wind back in our sails. At this point, I've lost visibility on the sloop, but I don't want to keep looking for it because if they have visibility on me, all I'm going to do is highlight my position with the spyglass. I think the best I can really hope for at this point is that they got caught up in the storm or ran from the storm. No, it is coming this way. You can see the clouds filling in. Just turn a little bit more. There we go. Okay. With the sloop, it is super important to stay into the wind as much, or with the wind as much as possible. If you can get the wind abeam, it's your fastest configuration. Make sure your sail is down all the way. Otherwise, it can be very difficult to outrun a galleon if you're not with the wind properly. All right, the seas are a little rougher out here. This is a higher sea state, actually. This might have been a bad call. Plus, we're not necessarily sure what wrecked this ship, although it probably was a storm. This isn't a player shipwreck, though. This is one that occurs on the map. Player shipwrecks don't stay for long. What they leave is a little pile of debris, like barrels and such. And if they had any chests or items of value, they would show up as well. Okay, we'll drop the anchor. The storm is coming this way too. All right. Sails up, anchors up. Good. Let's do one last check. We don't want somebody coming upon us. I'd say we're good. Let's see what we got. The wreck of the Devil's Rage. You always want to make sure you keep your inventory empty when you come into locations like this by filling up your supply containers, because you can always stock up on more once you're inside. If you're lucky, it's a shipwreck that will have an air bubble like this at the top, and you won't have to worry about drowning. Oh, what do we have? We have a disgraced bounty skull. A crate of rare tea. That's good. Let's take that back. So the crate of rare tea, oh, it's so deep. Oh, okay. Oh, don't look down. The crate of rare tea is able to be sold to the merchant company for money and reputation, whether you have a voyage with them or not. Those just give you a sense of direction if that's something you crave. But really, we could absolutely just vote to cancel our voyage, say forget that. I'm having fun with the shipwreck. Only problem is it's really deep, it's getting dark, and a storm is coming, so we probably need to not loiter. Now, the other thing that was here that looks kind of neat is this skull. These are obtained by killing undead captain pirates, which is what we were going to do, but this is a little better. This is a 2-for-1 because we've got the skull and the tea. And we're going to go back down and check the bottom level of the ship. You always want to check both levels and the captain's quarters. And this skull will give you rep with the Order of Souls and money from them as well. All right, one last check. I don't want to look around at how empty and deep that water is. Or think about what's making these noises. Do you have any more bananas I can have? Thanks. No, I don't need the banana. I just wanted it. Okay, so we'll get air from the air bubble. As long as nobody's around and messing with our ship, we'll be fine. Ooh, a villainous bounty skull. Oof, and a seafarer's chest. This is a good shipwreck. I've never found one of these skulls before. It looks to be incredibly valuable. Oh, it's getting dark. And the storm is getting closer. So you can go back to an island and cash in your bounty at any time. There's no limit to how many or how few. The more you carry on you, someone should sink you. That's bounty for them. I'm going to go ahead and drop the anchor just because the storm's coming. The storm will push us further and further away from the ship. All right, let's go. There was a seafarer's chest in there as well. It's not super dark. I don't really need the lantern yet. We still have daylight, so we're going to use it. Seafarer's chest, and of course, any of the chests of gold you give to the hoarder faction. Oh, deep dark water and those noises. Let me out of the water, please. Goodness. Goodness. We could go back in. We could go back in. I didn't get to check the bottom level completely. There's an outpost right there. So any island lit up like that is an outpost where we can go to turn in our goods. I'm tempted to go back in. We can always outrun the storm. The storm's not really heading directly for us. I think it's actually going to pass us on that side, judging by the direction of the wind. It is getting darker now, though. Oh, and there's always the possibility of sharks. Let's go. I think we'll be okay. We've got to get the treasure, right? We have to. All right. Now I'll pull out the lantern just to make sure I don't miss anything. We filled up our cannons, our wood, our bananas. Okay, I think that's it. I think hoping for more than 4 was kind of wishful thinking. But, because 4 is definitely the most I've seen on a sunken ship. Oh. We need that air pocket. Oof. The waves are starting to pick up from the storm, so that air pocket's getting smaller. Oh, look at that. See, that is one of the things I do like, even though it's a little nonsensical, is the sky at night. It's so colorful. It really is. Yeah, that storm's going past us. Okay, well, I guess without incident or threat, it's time for us to get underway. We're going to have the sail drop, so as soon as the anchor comes up, we're going. So now all we have to do is get to an outpost and sell our goods without anybody getting us. That's it. We got a pretty good haul for 30 minutes, especially that gold skull. I'm very curious to see how good that is. How much money it gives, how much reputation it gives. Alright, let's rig our sails up so we can get there quickly. The seas are rough and it's hard to see threats on the horizon from in the trough of a wave. All of our lanterns are off. We should be pretty hard to see at long range. But that, yeah, when that water's up like that, not good. All right. I think we're doing well. I don't see anyone on the island. Hold on. I saw something. Oh, I did not mean to ring that bell. I hope there's nobody close. I didn't mean to ring the bell. Want to get a good eye on the dock on the far side. I don't see any masts. Why is the sky changing? Where is this? Hold on. Hold on. I assumed this was an outpost. I didn't even check the map. This is not an outpost. We're going hard to starboard. Can't take it for granted. Where did we end up? Dagger Tooth Outpost? This is an outpost. Hold on. Oh, because there's the dagger teeth. Okay. Why didn't it? Oh, okay. In my fret and panic, yeah, I forgot. You have to zoom in. You have to zoom in order to get the title of where you're going. I don't want to go to this dock, though. Nope, 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 nope. I want to go to the other dock because that's where the merchant is. Plus, and I think this is just a theory, but that's generally where individual ships spawn, so I don't know if they will already not spawn next to you. But if maybe parking in that area helps that, I don't know. Should not speculate. There we go. We're just going to pull right up to this dock right here. And we're going to do it this time. Dropping the anchor. No! No! Oh, I should have dropped the anchor a little sooner. No. Nope. That's almost perfect. It was almost perfect. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I bet we'll make it. Okay, let's not play around, though. No, okay, I'm not going to be able to make it back on that way. Darn it. That stinks. Okay. It is what it is. Let's start with the villainous bounty skull. Now, keep in mind you can't really run while you're carrying this stuff. And there really isn't, even if you have a voyage or a mission to complete something, there's nothing that's binding you to that. If there was somebody on this island and they shot me and took it and they cashed it in, I get nothing. That's why it really is the Sea of Thieves, because every time you see another ship, while you might be worried about how much you have, it always becomes a measure of, do you think that person has more to lose than you? Because if they run, odds are they think they have that much more to lose than you. So always be cautious of people that run. And likewise, you should never run yourself. I say that. I don't know. If you're in a sloop and you feel like you need to run, then that's a judgment call you have to make. But a galleon, pardon me, a galleon rigged well into the wind with a good crew, they will outrun you. You'll have to be creative. You'll have to hide in the little rocks and sail up close to the shallow areas. Why, there was one time even that a sloop had lured us into overshooting because we were with all three masts down, and we sailed past them into uncharted waters. And then it was at that time that we realized how bad that was. Seafarer's Chest is next. Now you can see there is another sloop. I keep thinking we can jump out that back window. I need to calm down because I'm getting worked up. Because of that other ship? Where did it go? There was another ship just here. See, it could be... Oh, people are sneaky. Did they sail behind the rock? I need to get this chest where it needs to go. So we got a good bit of gold, almost a grand. A grand is really high. That's kind of the highest I've gotten from any single item personally. But the reputation is also good. But keep in mind, it's all just cosmetic. There's nothing that's going to make me better at this game than understanding the mechanics and communicating better when working with a crew. And I think that's part of what I like about the game so much that makes this game unique. is that it would be really easy for a game like this to become dominated by powerful players that have been playing the longest, when really this game is going to have more of a meta as people realize tricks and locations that people will do, but in the end it will come down to just who's more proficient, who's more on their game, and who feels like they have more to lose or less to lose than the other person. Obviously that sloop felt like they had more to lose than me. That being said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. This has been my introductory episode into Sea of Thieves, showing the mechanics of the game and a little bit of info on single player with a demo of basic gameplay. Now I'm going to share with you edited snippets of what a 4-person galleon crew works and looks like, and we'll see if we can't get some more of that in the future. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good time watching, because as always, I've had a good time playing. Please come back next time, as I hope very much to have more in the future. But until next time, take care.